Hi guys, welcome back. So let's talk about Rugby World Cup 2023 and the two Rugby World Cups after that, because we've had some movement on that. First of all, France 2023. I want to talk about the pool of death, which I had identified in a previous video, which is now probably the pool of even more death. Because of the new eligibility rules, which I've gone over in a recent video, Tonga should be able to get quite a few more decent players back playing for them who have played for other countries. Now, they haven't technically qualified yet, but they should do against the Asia champion, so they should be in Pool B with South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, Tonga, and a team from Europe. So that is just an unbelievably hard pool now. Let's say Tonga do get hold of players like Charles Piutau, Israel Folau, Vai Fafita, Lau Mape, Malachi Fekatoa. I mean, goodness me, just imagine if all of those guys play for Tonga. And remember, the Rugby World Cup is one time where the Pacific Islands can get all the players together for a decent amount of training time, get some games under their belts, and get that organisation which often they don't have. So now that would have been a pool of death with three big teams traditionally and one of them going home to maybe four big teams. So I thought the Ireland, Scotland, Japan pool from the last World Cup was pretty tough, but this one is super tough. So fans from those nations, let me know what you think of the new pool of even more death in France 2023. But on big news, we've had an announcement that Australia is now the preferred candidate for 2027. So that's absolutely massive. Now, that doesn't mean it's definitely going to go to Australia, but it's 99% sure it's going to go as long as they can sort their plans out, which I think they will, to be honest. I mean, they've got it all set up there. They've got the stadia. They've got the infrastructure. They've done it before. We know the Australian fans are fantastic, and just the sports fans who aren't always into rugby union, they'll come out and support their team as well. Plus, it's a great tourist destination. I'm sure it will work great. World Rugby want another sure thing World Cup following on from the pandemic, of course, so that'll be good for them. And Australia, Rugby Australia, are absolutely delighted, as they should be. They know they need to fill up some holes in their finances, some enthusiasm for rugby union. This is definitely going to be a big ticket for them going forward. A bit of a welcome boost, certainly, for their coffers and also that excitement about the game. Now, I would still like to see in Australia 2027 some of the pool games maybe being played in the Pacific Islands. For example, Fiji playing a pool game in Fiji. That would be amazing. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that is going to happen now. Australia 2027, start booking your flights. That's going to be exciting. Now, the USA, who were in the competition with Australia for 2027, have been name dropped a bit by World Rugby as a front runner, a definite candidate for 2031. Now, no doubt World Rugby would like the World Cup to go to the USA at some point because it's such a massive untapped market. You can grow the game there, you can make a lot of money there. It makes sense on all sorts of levels. But there are still some unknowns. I know this is like a decade away, but still it takes a lot of time to develop certainly their player development. We saw the US Eagles at the moment, not particularly competitive at all. In 10 years, it could be different. They do have that pro league now, which needs to be sustainable. And once you get that pro league and you show there is a professional pathway in US sport, then the colleges make their programs, the high schools make their programs, the kids get interested, and then you start getting that drip feed up to the national team. But that could take time. It could well take more than a decade. So you want your home team, your home nation to be competitive. So hopefully if it does go to the USA, they will be. And then you do have a couple of other issues about it's such a massive country where rugby is still quite a small sport, relatively speaking. If you spread all the games out, you could have certain places that are pretty dead, to be honest. My preference would probably be to focus the games around areas where there's a high interest in rugby already. I know it's not ideal if you're trying to reach the whole nation, but I think you don't want dead stadia. You want some atmosphere there for sure. Certain parts of the country may not know it's going on, but if you concentrate it in some areas, say on the east and the west coast, at least you will get some of that vibe, and they will then be able to take the game to the USA and do what they want to do there. Other candidates, of course, we had Russia, Argentina, maybe South America get together to do some sort of joint World Cup, maybe a European one based around Italy. There's all sorts of options, but it does look like the USA is the front runner there. So maybe we do have our 3 next World Cups sorted. So I'd love to know all your thoughts on that. The pool of even more death in France 2023. Do you think it's as dangerous as I think it could be? What it's going to be like in 2027 in Australia, and should it go to the USA in 2031? Anyway, guys, I will catch you next time.